Yes, sir.
Hello, hello. Good evening to each and everyone, my dear learners. We have already discussed about your yesterday. We discussed about what Plato's scheme of who can speak. What the point that we are discussing? Hello, Platonic scheme of justice. Yes or no? What do you mean by justice? Chinmay. Hello. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Dushasan, Chinmay.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, Priyanka? Your audio is up. Madhusmita,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes, sir.
Uh, okay. Who is Madhusmita? Priyanka is remaining silent. Priyanka, hello. Anyway, let us continue our discussion. So, yesterday we discussed about the Platonic scheme of justice, as you know very well. That justice, in order to establish justice in the society, we have to speak the truth, number one. Number two, we have to, if we have borrowed anything from somebody else, we have to repay it, we have to repay. The third one is that we must speak the truth before each and everyone. That means our action should be motivated towards the welfare of the society. That means our motto should be the welfare of the society, and the personal interest must be sacrificed for the interest of the collective interest. For the glorification of the state, for the interest of the state, we have to sacrifice our self interest. That means we should be selfish or we should not be selfish. We must be motivated towards the collective welfare. Collective welfare means what? Because I am a part of the society, and in society I am a member of the society, and society expects a lot of things from me being a member of society. As you know very well, Aristotle, the father of political science, has rightly said that man is a social animal, man is a gregarious animal, and he who lives without society is either a god or beast. Aristotle ରାଜନୀତି ବିଜ୍ଞାନ ଜନକ କଣ କହିଲେ? ମନୁଷ୍ୟ ହେଉଛି ଏକ ସାମାଜିକ ପ୍ରାଣୀ, ଯିଏ ସମାଜକୁ ଛାଡ଼ି ବଞ୍ଚି ରୁହେ ସେ ହୁଏତ ପଶୁ ବା ଦେବତା। ଯେହେତୁ we are all members, you, myself and you all, the learners, we are all members of society and we cannot live without society. That means individual and society both are correlated, because society is formed by taking the group of individuals. That means when group of individuals they join together, they are organized, then the society is formed. And in society, why we live in society? Because of for fulfilling our basic needs. What are the basic needs that I have already taught you? Food, shelter, and clothing. These were the three basic necessities in the earlier time: food, shelter, and clothing. But subsequently, education and health that has been added. That means for the fulfilling for our requirement. What are our requirement? Food, shelter, clothing, health, education, and health. These are the five basic necessities of human life, and for these reasons we live in society. As it reveals right now that in this online class, and what is you are the learners of IGNU, and what is your requirement? To learn something about Western political thought, and that Western political thought is being taught by Dr. S.K. Kaur. That means I am a teacher, the counselor of IGNU. The counselor of IGNU, giving advice, online advice to you on the topic of Western political thought. That means your requirement as a learner to learn something about Western political thought is being fulfilled by a teacher or by a counselor named Dr. S.K. Kar. Similarly, when we suffer from any fever, we generally go to a doctor. Yes or no? For diagnosis. And doctor, after diagnosis our health condition, check off, making a check off, then he prescribes a number of medicines. That means the doctor himself is an individual and the teacher, the counselor of IGNO, Dr. S. Kari is also an individual, and we, all the individuals, we depend upon each other. In a society, we depend upon each other. Yes or no? मनुष्य समाज रे आमे समस्ते परस्पर निर्भरशील कहीं गोटे वन इंडिविजुअल कैन नॉट बी सेल्फ रिलायंट ही कैन नॉट फुलफिल ही कैन नॉट प्रोड्यूस एवरीथिंग व्हाट ही रिक्वायर्स तार जो आवश्यक अच्छी गोटे व्यक्तिर जहाँ सब किसी आवश्यक से सब जिनस से निजे प्रोड्यूस कर जेहेतु प्रोड्यूस कर ही हैज टू डिपेंड अपन अदर तार स्वास्थ्य डॉक्टर को ऊपर घर कंस्ट्रक्शन इंजीनियर को ऊपर पाठ शिक्षा टीचर को ऊपर गोटे खाद्य पदार्थ फार्मर्स को ऊपर सो दैट मीन्स ए लार्ज नंबर ऑफ पीपल आर देयर इन द सोसाइटी प्रोफेशनल पीपल आर देयर अपन हुम वी डिपेंड अपॉन अनेक गुड़े प्रोफेशनल लोक रही जो आम जो केसेस विभिन्न प्रकार कम्प्लिकेसन अरेज कर लीगल केसेस अरेज करते वी आर गोइंग टू एन एडवोकेट आम गोटे वकिल बा लयर पाखक आम जाऊे एंड वी आर सीकिंग द एडवाइस ऑफ दैट डॉक्टर सो डॉक्टर दैट लयर इज हिमसेल्फ is an individual, is a member of the society, and doctor is also a member of the society, an engineer or a teacher like me and the learners like all of you, we are all part and parcel of the society. So society, in society we live together, and in society what Plato said that the entire society is divided into three classes. One is the ruling class, second one is the military class, and the third one is producing class. ये जो तीनटा क्लास रहा तीन श्रेणीभुक्त समाज रहा समाज तीनो श्रेणी को विभक्त करदे तीनटा सोल को कहले वन इज गाइडेड बाय रीजन सेकंड वन इज गाइडेड बाय स्पिरिट एंड द थर्ड वन इज गाइडेड बाय appetite and while discussing about the communism of wives and property Plato said the first two classes what are the first two classes Chinmay first dita class ko dita group
सर regime sorry माने
ruling class and military ruling class and
kings
military and philosopher
warrior
king the,
and
the
warriors.
warriors mean the military class military group
Yes, sir.
semane kono hebe they tanka pakhre roila reason and spirit they should not be guided by appetite do you understand and the number of persons in the producing class is more do you understand or not so how what is the motto of making a communism of wives and property that Plato said upper two class which two class the ruling class and the military class they will not have money will you write money land and property do you understand house number one you just see the family they should not have family they should not have land and they should not have money you can note it down quick दुशासन लेखि नवाटा भला हो लेखिनी
आज्ञा सर
हाँ प्रियंका लेखुच मधुस्मिता जो माने अच्छा अन्य माने के लेखु मत तो जानी पारुनी मुई को माने अच्छा सब लेखुच ना नहीं
आज्ञा सर
हाँ लेकिन एटा मोटा money then home means the land money land and family they should not have who should not have which two class should not have money land or the home and the family को दीटा क्लास रहिबने ताकर रहिबने परिवार रहिबने लैंड रहिबने टंका ताका पखे रहिबने रहिले कोन असुविधा हो हेलो
सेल्फलेस बोले आसीबो
हैं
सेल्फिश हे जिवे सर से माने लोभ आसीबो
केमती मते कहि दियो तीनटा जिंस से मानक रहिबने कम्युनिज्म ऑफ वाइफ आमे कहले कम्युनिज्म ऑफ फैमिली कोटा परिवार रहिबो नै लैंड ଜମିବାଡ଼ି ସମ୍ପତ୍ତି ଘର ରହିବ ନାହିଁ, ତୃତୀୟଟି ହେଉଛି ଟଙ୍କା ରହିବନି। ଏ ତିନିଟା ଯାଙ୍କ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ରହିବ ନାହିଁ। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ମିନ୍ସ ଦ ରୁଲିଂ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦ ମିଲିଟାରୀ କ୍ଲାସ୍ should not have money, land and family. Because of what? Once they will have family, they will go for bearing the children. Once they bear the children, then procreation of children, then what will happen? They will be physically attacked. They will be motivated by their impulses. The impulses, that means by the circumstances which will come out from their family force. ପରିବାର ଯେତେବେଳେ ହବ, ତାଙ୍କ ପିଲା ଛୁଆ ହେବେ, ନ୍ୟାଚୁରାଲି ଦେ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଟାଏଡ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ଏ ବଣ୍ଡ। ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ବନ୍ଧନରେ ବାନ୍ଧି ହେଇଯିବେ। କୋଉ ବନ୍ଧନ? ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଏ ଫିଜିକାଲ ବଣ୍ଡ where emotional attachment will be there in between the parents and the children and wife, husband and wife. Yes or no? ଗୋଟେ ପରିବାର ଯେତେବେଳେ ସୃଷ୍ଟି ହବ, ପରିବାରର ଯୋଉ ମୁଖ୍ୟ ପୁରୁଷ, ଯୋଉ ମେନ୍ who is in the ruling class will be controlled, will be influenced by the activities of the family members. Yes or no? ଫ୍ୟାମିଲିର ଯୋଉ ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ ରହିବ, ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ସହିତ ଆଟାଚ୍ ହେଇଯିବ। ଇଏ ମୋ ପୁଅ, ଇଏ ମୋ ଝିଅ, ଇଏ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ମୋ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ, ଇଏ ଭିତରେ ଫିଜିକାଲ ଆଟାଚମେଣ୍ଟ ଭିତରେ ବାନ୍ଧି ହେଇଯିବ, ଗୋଟେ ଟାଏଡ୍ ବଣ୍ଡ ଭିତରେ ବାନ୍ଧି ହେଇଯିବ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ବାନ୍ଧି ହେଇଯିବ, ଡୁ ୟୁ ଥିଙ୍କ that he will be sincere in his duty? Do you think that he will be honest in his duty? No. What he will do? He will become self, and he will become selfish and self-motivated and self-centered. Then he cannot give justice to the people. ସେତେବେଳେ ସେ କ'ଣ ହବ? ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ନ୍ୟାୟ ଦେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। That means, as because you know very well, they are the part of the deliberative system where they discuss about the welfare of the country, welfare of the state. That means what will happen? That means they will not be able to take a proper decision, a concrete decision for the society. Then what will happen? The society will be paralyzed, the system will be paralyzed. That will not function properly. Se system ta au kamo karibo nahi. As you know very well, military class people and the ruling class people, they will not have money. But as you know, money is a kind of power. Yes or no? Money gote power na nahi, gote shakti na nahi. Hello?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Money
Yes,
is
sir.
and as you know very well, money is a power. And once you have, you might have observed in your locality, ତମ locality ତମେ ଦେଖିଥିବ, ଘର ପାଖରେ ଲୋକକୁ ଦେଖିଥିବ, ଯାହା ପାଖରେ ଟଙ୍କା ନଥିବ, ଗରିବ ଲୋକଟେ, even the poor, he has a good heart. The man, moneyed man has a bad heart. What we say? ଆମେ ସାଧାରଣତଃ କୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗରିବ ଲୋକର ଗୋଟେ ହୃଦୟ ଅଛି, ଗୋଟେ ଧନୀ ଲୋକର ହୃଦୟ ନାହିଁ. That means a poor man has a heart, and what? Moneyed man do not have a heart. That means, what does it mean? A moneyed man, he behaves differently, with a different attitude. जो पाखे जा पाखे टंका थाए, से टंका जेतेबेले ता पाखकु फ्लो आसे ना, his behavior totally changes drastically. Money as a force changes the human behavior. It has a deep impact upon his life. ଆମେ ସାଧାରଣତଃ ଆମେ କ'ଣ, with the learners who have joined in this online class, as you know very well, what for we are running after? We are running after what? Money, career and success. Money, career and success. You people, you Chinmay, Madhusmita, whosoever the person is there, the learner, we, myself also, we are running after, we are hankering after money, career and success. And what we think, what we perceive, that money, career and success will give us what? A beautiful life. But actually, money, career and success, that doesn't give you pleasure. That doesn't give you happiness. Happiness that comes from within. What Plato has rightly said during that period, Plato has an emotional blending of the nature of human beings, and Plato said that the two upper class, one is the ruling class, another is the military class, they should not have money with them. Once money comes to them, ultimately being money as a power will make them corrupt. As you know, Acton has rightly said, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yes or no? Acton कौन कहले? Acton कहले क्षमता मनुष्य को अंध कर दिए, अधिक क्षमता आसिले मनुष्य अधिक अंध हो जाए. तार अर्थ ये आम जानूचे जिते मनी आज ए पावर इफ इट विल कम टू दी टू रूलिंग क्लास एंड दी military class, ultimately those two class will be corrupted. Then what will do you think that justice will be prevail in society? No, answer is no. Then they should not have land, because once they will have their land and home, automatically they will be attracted towards their home, towards their land. Because there is some sorts of emotional attachment, psychological attachment with the land and the property someone has. आमर जो जमी अच्छे आम कौन भिटा इटा माटी कौन भिटा माटी के आम छाड़ी जीवन आम घर एटी आम छाड़ी जीवन जो रिहाबिलिटेशन हुए एवं लोक मान विस्थापित करा जाए से कौन हुए डिस्प्लेसमेंट करा जाए गोटे जगह जो फैक्ट्री हुए से लोक मान गोटे आटाचमेंट थाए से जगह प्रति जो जगह घर बाड़ी हरिका थाए. सो व्हाट हैपेंस? दे रिवोल्ट. व्हाई दे रिवोल्ट? जे ताकर गोटे फिजिकल इमोशनल बॉन्डिंग थाए से लैंड सहित जोटा कि से छाड़ी पारती ना सहजरे अलग जगह घर 5 वाला घर करदे दे आर नॉट सैटिस्फाइड. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. एंड व्हाट प्लेटो सेड, once the ruling class and that is your military class, once they will be attached to their home, to their land, they cannot perform their duty properly. ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ଠିକ କରିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ. there will be negligence in their duties. ତାଙ୍କ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟରେ ସେମାନେ negligence କରିବେ जोपाई कि that will create a chaos in the administration, just governance system रे गोटे chaos सृष्टि हबो जोटा कि which is not expected. That's why Plato said those two classes, they should not have family, they should not have land, they should not have power. Then how they will live? ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଜୀବନ ରହିବ ନା ନାହିଁ? Yes, they will be placed, they will be positioned in a barrack, they will live in a barrack, and in a barrack there will be common food. They will go there, they will stay there, everything will be provided, even the wives, that means the woman will be provided to them, but they should not have their wives. स्त्री लोक मान से माने रहिबे तांका पाखरे जाई कि रोषे करी खाया को देबे, कॉमन बैरक रे रहिबे, किंतु परिवार they are not allowed to form the family. परिवार गठन करि परिबे नाही, and they should not possess any kind of assets with them for them. तांको पाई से माने कोनस प्रकार एसेट करिवे. सोइबा लागे बेड दरकार, बेड दिया हबो. खाइबा लागी जहा दरकार खाइबा दिया हबो. एवं से मानको से जगह रे बैरक रे ताको कोन कहबो, से जगह रे ताको ट्रेनिंग दिया जीवो. प्लाटो कहले प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग. टू टाइप्स ऑफ एजुकेशनल सिस्टम कहछन जोटा एबे एनईपी रे हमर कार्यकारी करछ. वन इज एलिमेंटरी एजुकेशन, अनदर इज हायर एजुकेशन. एलिमेंटरी एजुकेशन सेतेबेले देखो प्लाटो मध्ये कहछन कि एलिमेंटरी एजुकेशन हायर एजुकेशन कथा जे सेमानकु विभिन्न जगह रे स्किल ट्रेनिंग मध्ये दिया जीवो. तांखे मानकु म्यूजिक सुनिया को चाहिले म्यूजिक भी सुनि पारिबे. कारण गोटे लोक जेतेबेले व्हेन ही डिस्पेंस जस्टिस टू द पीपल, जने जेतेबेले अन्य मानकु न्याय दोउची, ruling class rochi, and they have to be benevolent. Benevolent means they will take care of the people. लोक मानकर कोन नबा दरकार, जत्न नबा दरकार, लोक मान प्रकृत न्याय दवा लागि सेमाने बेनिवोलेंट हेबे. एबे बेनिवोलेंट केतेबेले हेबे? when everything is provided to them. तांकर luxurious life बा necessities जो उडको थिबो ruling class रो military class रो, everything will be provided in the barrack, but they will not have their private property or wives. And those producing class, they will have their family, money, everything, because they are the lastest. They are the last category of people those who are guided by appetite. They only want to possess everything. They want to possess everything. So automatically those producing classes, who are they? They are the farmers, artisans, peasants. So they will do all these things, producing class. So this is all about your communism of wives and property. I am just dictating, you note it down. Be quick. Make a heading. Plato, concept of communism. Hello.
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir.
Be quick. Plato's concept of communism. Let me see something. Okay. Hello. Note it down.
Sir.
Plato's concept of communism was the handmaid of his justice. Was the handmaid of his justice. If education was a positive remedy, if education is a positive remedy for the operation of justice in the ideal state, his communism was a negative remedy. His communism was a negative remedy negative remedy. Plato's communism of wives and property. Write down communism of wives, WIVES, wives and property is based on psychology. Psychology. As we know, be quick, as you know, Plato has divided the soul into three parts. The soul into three parts. Given a hyphen, reason, spirit, and appetite. Reason, spirit, and appetite. Stop. In his opinion, if reason and spirit are to discharge their functions, reason and spirit means the ruling class and the military class are to discharge their functions and to attain justice and to attain ATTAIN, attain justice, then they must keep themselves away. Then appetite ଠାରୁ ନିଜକୁ ଦୂରେଇକି ରଖିବେ, and they must keep themselves away from appetite. From appetite. Domination of appetite. Appetite जदि dominate करे human being की, domination of appetite is a great hindrance. Hindrance means प्रतिबंधक, obstacle. Is a great hindrance to the purification and goodness of the soul. Goodness of the soul. Similarly, in the ideal state, there are three classes: the ruling class, military class, and producing class. If the former two, pratham dita, ruling class and the military class, if the former two classes are guided by economic motives, then there will be gross there will be gross negligence of duty. जोटा कि मैं कहली, there will be gross negligence of duty. On the part of these two classes, which will destroy the spirit of justice. The spirit of justice. For this reason, he prescribed the introduction of communism of wives and property. Communism of wives and property. Property and family are related to the elements of appetite. एगुड़ा ये जो कृषक मानकर दरकार. Property and family are related to the elements of appetite, and hence these two institutions, dita institution kon family and property, these two institutions must be renounced by them. Renounced माने परित्याग करिवे. से मानकर मिलिटरी क्लास एवं रूलिंग क्लास ए दीटाक क्लास रखिबे नाही. परिवार एवं प्रॉपर्टी. These two institutions must be renounced. RENOUNCED. Renounced by them. So justice demands a communistic order. Communistic order means all are equal. Communistic order for the guardian class. The feeling of mine and thine, मोर तोर जो भावना, जोटा हॉब्स लॉक रूसो कहते, just a minute, you just wait, I am telling one thing, one important thing is there. The feeling you just see, oh, what I will say, oh, just a minute, okay, you just see. Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and J.J. Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the social contractualists, what they said? They said in their books, in their respective books, that when man was wandering in the forest, मनुष्य प्रथम कोठी बसवास करतला. Hello, my dear learners. Hello.
जंगल रे.
कौन करता जंगल बसवास करके? What you are doing there? Hello, Chinmay.
Yes sir, माने ग्रीस रा पूर्वरु ना.
ମୁଁ କହୁଛି when the civilization originated.
सर ग्रीस रे माने स्टेट फॉर्मेशन करी.
I am not talking about Greece. ମୁଁ କଣ କହୁଛି ଶୁଣି ପାରିଲନି ବୋଧେ ବୋଧେ.
Sir, hunting and gathering.
Hello, who is telling Priyanka?
Yes, sir, hunting and gathering, food gathering.
Hunting and gathering of foodstuffs, collecting from different trees. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Priyanka? हाँ. So जंगल रोहुतला, शिकार करुतला, खाउतला जेतेले सिविलाइजेशन ओरिजिन करूची. ह्यूमन कालिपा कहउतली बोधे ओरिजिन कालना पढ़न कहउतली बोधे ओरिजिन ऑफ द स्टेट रे कहउतली. कौन कहली? हाउ मेनी थियोरीज आर देयर? One is kinship theory, second one is divine theory, third one is, hello, my dear learners, have you written all these things or not? Hello, anyone can respond. Whether you have written or not, you tell me yes or no. Hello, am I audible? दुशासन
आज्ञा सर शुभुची लेखिनी सर मु काली आसी नथिली
ठीक अच्छे लेकिन हम जब नॉलेज हम मत कह हाँ कि नहीं बस यू जस्ट टेल मी वेदर yes or no. If I have not
आज्ञा
written, I will dictate again. You just write it down. There are 5 theories regarding the origin of the state. Make it a point because you have to write something in the Hobbes-Crusoe social contract theory. That is most important question for you, all of you. Look up first theory regarding the origin of the state. There are 5 theories regarding the origin of the state. One by one, लेखक तलुक तल. Number 1, kinship theory. अरे बाप रे तुम फंडामेंटल तुम पढ़े पॉलिटिकल थियोरी तुम यू आर ऑल सेकेंड ईयर स्टूडेंट्स. हेलो चिन्मय, you
Yes,
respond.
sir.
Why you are remaining silent? कौन अच्छी न कही पारे असुविधा कौन अच्छी आदि मुझे आम कथा आलोचना करवा कौन कि ना कह तुम फास्ट इयर पेपर रे पॉलिटिकल थियोरी तुमको पढ़ाई देवे पेपर 1 MPS-1 ने ओरिजिन ऑफ द स्टेट प्रथम लेख लेख डाकी कही दूसरी. वन इज किनशिप थियोरी KINSHIP. kin means blood, remember it. Ship SHIP, ship means relation. What does it mean? Combining together kinship means blood relation. Clear? Hello Vibhudatta?
Yes, sir.
So write down kinship theory. Second one is divine origin theory. Hello, divine origin theory.
Theory.
Third
Yes,
one
sir.
is social contract theory. Social contract theory. Fourth one is evolutionary theory or historical theory. It is called as evolutionary theory or historical theory, or it is known as scientific theory. Hello.
The last one is
Evolutionary theory लिख लो कि
Yes, sir.
सर आउ गुटे
evolutionary theory डाकली बा पांचटा. Kinship theory again divided into two. Kinship theory टाको पुन bifurcate करो. One is patriarchal theory, another is matriarchal theory. Hello. One is patriarchal, PATRIARCHIAL, patriarchal theory. Another is matriarchal theory. Then is here, you note it down. The state is created, make it a point. State is created. You have to write all these things in Hobbes-Crusoe. Hobbes-Crusoe पढ़ेला बेला आपको दरकार हबो मने करी लेखिबो सेठी देखो. The state is created on the basis of blood relationship. On the basis of blood relationship. Patriarchal theory says state is created making the male member as the head of the family head of the family, and matriarchal theory. Matriarchal theory indicates that state is created where female is the center of the family. Then second one is divine theory. Divine theory says, काली पढ़ाई divine theory, कल ना पढ़ना कोई divine theory says state is the handiwork of the divine or the God. Be quick. State is the handiwork. State is the handiwork of the divine or the God of the God. God, he himself came in the form of the king. God, he himself came in the shape of the king, as ruler, to rule over the common people, to rule over the ruled means the common people. Common people. Third, force theory. Force theory. It says, lekhucho to, hello, Dusasan.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍
Yes, sir.
Look, force theory says state is created by force. State is created by force where the stronger captured the weaker. The stronger captured the weaker. The stronger captured the weaker. And both live together. Both lived together through subjugation. Both lived together through subjugation. Basically, stronger lokota control kornala ka weaker taku. Se di jana ka misigale semane they became more stronger. Then they capture another one by using force, coercive force. बल प्रयोग करके control. In course of time, they live together and the state is formed. That is called as force theory. And the fourth one is evolutionary theory or historical theory. Be quick. Evolutionary theory or historical theory. Evolutionary theory or historical theory. Evolutionary theory or historical theory, which speaks that state is not created by a single factor. Be quick, my dear learner. କାରଣ ଆଜି 3-4ଟା ଟପିକ କଭର କରିବା at best. State କଣ ଲେଖିଲେ ରେ ଚିନ୍ମୟ ଦୀପ୍ତି
The state is not created by
କଣ ଡାକୁଛି ହିଷ୍ଟୋରୀ ହଁ ନଟ୍ State is not created by a single factor, not by a single factor, but by a large number of factors, but by a large number of factors like blood relation, number one, blood relation, religion, custom, tradition, conventions, custom, tradition, conventions, and political consciousness, and political consciousness. Okay? Hello.
Yes, sir.
हाँ तापर आउ कौन रहा सोशल कंट्राक्ट थ्योरी भूली गल देख सोशल कंट्राक्ट थ्योरी propounded by propounded by Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau. Hobbes means Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes, Locke, John Locke, L-O-C-K-E, John Locke, and Rousseau, J. Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Propounded by Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, held the view, held the view that state is created in a phased manner, in a phased manner through state of nature, and the social contract where a large number of men made a contract to live happily in an organized way. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
आमे कहूले जे feeling of mine and thine केमती आसला मु कहूली when the man was wandering in the forest, Thomas Hobbes said that man's life was, you see the word that I am using, man's life was solitary, poor, brutish, nasty and short. What Thomas Hobbes said? Man's life was brutish, short. Short means man was living for a short time because he was being killed by wild animals. Forget it. What Thomas Hobbes he has said, you just forget it. Because our motto is to discuss about the communism of wives and property of Plato. What Plato said? Man, the two categories of people, the ruling class and the military class, these two classes should not have property and wives. Why? I said that when man was wandering in the forest, there was a feeling. When the man was wandering in the forest, he realized that out of with the fruit that comes from the tree, two the earth. Ultimately, they realized that we have to collect the foodstuff from the trees and we have to settle here. And in course of time, when they lived together, someone said that this is my tree and someone said that this is my tree. So the feeling of mine and thine, you just see the theme, mine and thine, ମୋର ଆଉ ତୋର, ଏ ଗଛଟା ମୋର, ଏ ଗଛଟା ତୋର, ଏଇ ଯୋଉ feeling that came into existence in the minds of the people. That has been reflected in Plato's scheme of communism, and why Plato said that once the family and money and everything will be there, then the ruling class and the military class, they will say this is mine and someone say this is mine. And once mine and thine, mora autora, thine, thine, once the feeling of mine and thine comes into the mind of the people, ultimately it will lead to disruption, it will lead to quarrel, it will lead to conflict, and there will be a tussle in between the men, and when there will be a tussle between men, justice will be jeopardized. There will be no justice. ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୋର ତୋର ଭାବନା ଆସିବ ସେତେବେଳେ ଲୋକଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଗଣ୍ଡଗୋଳ ହେବ. Once the conflict arise କଲା ମାତ୍ରେ you cannot ensure justice. ନ୍ୟାୟ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା ହୋଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ. You cannot say that society ensures justice. That is why the ruling class and the military class, they are not allowed to have the property and family. This is one point. कौन लेखुतरा सेठी मत कहल टिके हेलो जो को पर्यटन डाकली अरे कई तो जने को आबती Am I audible to you?
A large number of men made a contract to live happily in an organized way.
ମୁଁ ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଡାକୁଥିଲି କମ୍ୟୁନିଜମ ଅଫ ୱାଇଫ୍ସ ପ୍ରପର୍ଟି ରେ.
Yes, sir. Justice demand the communal order for the guardian class of feeling mind and right. Next.
Feeling mine and thine leads to disruption in the society, disruptions in the society, and dragged them out of the common good. Dragged them out of the common good. So Plato recommended or said, Plato recommended or said that the two should be kept apart, those who exercise political power means ruling class. Those who exercise the political power, bracket लिख लियो, ruling class. Should have no economic motives. Should not have no economic motives. And those who are engaged in economic activities, like your producing class, those who are involved or engaged or involved in economic activities should not be given political power. If all the citizens of the state, are allowed to possess property, ସବୁ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଯଦି allow କରିବା property ପାଇଁ, if all citizens are allowed to possess property, then the virtue of justice cannot be ensured. Then the virtue of justice cannot be ensured. Therefore, the fitness of men bracket रे ruling ए जो कौन ताको कहते military class, fitness of men, military class is to be determined by what they are, not by what they have, Next paragraph. So the communism of wives and property, have the following aspects. Number one, it applies only to the guardian class. Number two, the guardians have to renounce the private property and wives. Plato wanted to take the woman. Plato wanted to take the woman out of the household and wanted that woman should not be used as property, should not be used like private property. Should not be used like private property because it deteriorates their status in society. It deteriorates their status in society. So, Plato's communism of wives and property, will ensure a a systematized or a systematic establishment of government or the philosopher king or the philosopher king or the ruling class or the guardian class who will protect the life and who will protect the life of the people, will protect the life of the people, will give good governance, to the people, will give good governance to the people, and will establish a society with full justice. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Then we will discuss the Platonic scheme of education. Education विषय में टिके कहि दोछि तापर मु डाकी दु खाली सुनि से कहिले जे आज यू नो वेरी वेल जे मु तुमको आगुरु स्टोरी गोटे कहतली जे देयर वाज परफेक्चुअल वार वन इन बिटवीन होम का भीतर युद्ध लागितला हेबो हेलो
एथेंस एंड स्पार्टा
एथेंस एवं स्पार्टा भीतर जो बृहत हेलो हाँ किए कौन कोन कुआ चिन्मय कुआ
सर एथेंस एंड स्पार्टा
हाँ एथेंस एवं स्पार्टा भीतर जो वार चली थिला as you know very well that in Greek city state more than 200 city states were there, and as you know very well Aristotle has studied 158 constitutions of the Greek city states, and after that he wrote the book The Politics. Plato, Aristotle, and as you know very well the teacher of Plato, Socrates, and Polemarchus, Thrasymachus, and Sophist, all those persons, those who were intellectuals and statesmen of Greece city state, they thought that how that war between Athens and Sparta will come to an end. And as I have told you, that they thought that it is only through education. Probably these people of Sparta, those who are warmongering, those who are quarreling again and again with the people, peace-loving people of Athens. So ultimately, probably it is because of education, lack of education, they are quarreling. So the motto of Plato, Aristotle, they thought that what was the motto? They wanted to establish the educational system or educational institution in Greece city state where the children can be properly taught so that they will realize the importance of life, importance of good governance system, and they wanted to have a systematic life in Greece. Greece रे गोटे systematic life, गोटे peaceful life ensure करिया लगी. They tried their level best, and they, as you know very well, Plato and Aristotle, the teacher and the disciple. Who is the disciple? Aristotle is the disciple of Plato. Both the teacher and the student, Plato and Aristotle both tried their level best to ensure justice in the society and to bring to an end of the perpetual war in between that was going on in between Athens and Sparta. And as you know, Plato started a school named Academy, and similarly, in the same way, Aristotle, his disciple Aristotle, also started another school named Lyceum. And everything was being taught there. Every subject was like your geography, mathematics, astronomy, statesmanship, and the skill, the music system, painting, everything was being taught in that academy and lesson. And what happened? Plato said that the educational system which was prevalent during that time means in Greece, it is divided, it was of two stages. It was of two stages, primary education and secondary education, not the secondary education, they were calling it as a higher education. Clear? Do you understand? Education system was divided into two parts. ଆମର କଣ ହେଇଛି ଆମର present educational system? It is divided into elementary education, primary education, secondary education, higher secondary education, higher education. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
my dear learners.
Yes, sir.
ଆମର କଣ କଣ ଅଛି? ଆମର ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ present education system ଟା କଣ? Hello? Elementary education ତଳେ ରହିଲା. ତାପରେ secondary education. ତାପରେ higher secondary education.
Absolutely.
Elementary ରେ ଯାଉଛି ତମର primary education ହରିକା. ତାପରେ ରହିଲା secondary education. Secondary ପରେ higher secondary education. 11, 12 class coming under higher secondary education. Then graduation, then post graduation, PhD or MPhil, these are coming under higher education. But during Plato, the educational system was divided into two stages. One was preliminary, the primary education, and another was the higher education. At the age of 7, try to understand, my dear learners, at the preliminary stage, when at the age of 7, the children were picked up from the family and we are given education. What type of education? Physical education, in order to make them so strong and stout. That is called as physical education to the children. Could you follow my point? Hello?
Yes,
That
sir.
means at a younger age, at the younger age, the students, their muscle power must be strong enough. So, proper education was provided at the preliminary stage, like your painting, music, everything was being imparted there to make them amused. ଯେମିତି ପିଲା ଖୁବ ମୌଜ ମଜଲିସରେ ପାଠ ପଢିବେ ସେଥିଲାଗି ପ୍ରିଲିମିନାରୀ ଷ୍ଟେଜରେ ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆମ ପ୍ରାଇଭେଟ ଏଜୁକେସନ ବୋଲି କହୁଛେ ତା ଜାଗାରେ ସେ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି ଏବଂ ହାୟର ଏଜୁକେସନରେ କଣ the people, the students, those who are being enrolled in higher education, those who are given imparted higher education, their behavior, their activities, their actions were judged by the teachers whether that person is having the quality like reason, spirit, or appetite. And accordingly, they were being categorized, they were being segregated. ସେତେବେଳେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ହାୟର ଏଜୁକେସନ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଦିଆଯାଉଥିଲା ସେମାନଙ୍କ they were being properly guided, they were properly observed, their activities, everything, actions, everything was being observed, and accordingly they were segregated. ତାକୁ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ପୃଥକୀକରଣ କରିଦିଆଯାଉଥିଲା, ସେଗ୍ରିଗେସନ କରିଦିଆଯାଉଥିଲା. କାହିଁକି? Because the nature, their nature, someone possessing the nature, the quality, the virtues which he has, it was being reflected through his actions. ଆମେ ବେଳେ ବେଳେ କହୁନେ କି ଆମେ ତୁମେ ମନରେ ଯାହା ଭାବ ତା କଥାରେ ପ୍ରକାଶିତ ହେଇଯାଏ, ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ନା କହୁନି? ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ମାଇ ଡିୟର ଲର୍ନର୍ସ, ଆମେ କହୁନା
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ଆମର
Yes, sir.
what we say, the facial appearance, the what we say, sometimes it comes out, it is the thought process. ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆମେ ଭାବୁ ତାପରେ ଆମେ କଣ କରୁ? କହୁ. ତାମାନେ ଆମ କହିବାଟା କଣ? It is the reflection of our thought. ସେମିତି in higher educational system during Plato's time, that means the human nature was reflected through their activities. The thought process of a person, of an individual, was being reflected through his activities, and accordingly he was observed. What sorts of virtues, what sorts of quality, what sorts of virtues he possessed. ଜଣେ କୋଉ ଭଳିଆ ଗୁଣର ଅଧିକାରୀ तार कार्यकलाप प्रकाशित हो जाउतला एंड अकॉर्डिंगली जेते प्रकाशित होउतला दे वी आर बीइंग सेग्रीगेटेड ताको भितरे ताको पृथकीकरण ग्रुप वाइज करा जाउतला ये he has to be included in the military group in the military class he has to be segregated to producing class and he has to be inducted into ruling class on the basis of what is that what are the grounds basis religion wisdom spirit adventurous and what appetite that is the quality of the producing class so accordingly this was the educational system that was being prescribed by Plato. I am just dictating you can write note down it the educational system let me see just a minute 1 minute 1 minute 1 minute happy write down देखो तो क्या कॉलिंग बेल मारचंती be quick write down my dear learners 1 minute look Plato's scheme of education Plato's scheme of education बहुत simple language रे डाकुचे लिखो Plato's scheme of education represents a state controlled system of represents a state controlled system of compulsory education for both male and female for both male and females every member of this state has to be prepared कहला प्रत्येक पिला को जज कराई के अलग अलग सेग्रीगेशन कराओ has to be prepared for a particular class either for ruling within bracket philosopher king fighting within bracket military class or producing class the education which was imparted in the beginning the education which was being imparted in the beginning is equal for all all for means for both men and women thus Plato maintained the principle of equality in education. The principle of equality in education in the beginning. Plato's system of education is divided into two parts namely one is elementary education and the higher education. Make a caption. make a caption elementary education. Heading karo. Make a heading elementary education. In the Platonic scheme of education, education for the first 10 years education for the first 10 years 7 ବର୍ଷ ରୁ 10 ବର୍ଷ ଯେ 3-4 ବର୍ଷ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ shall be physical ଶାରୀରିକ ଦିଆ कौन कौन रहिबो जिम्नासियम रहिबो बॉडी एक्सरसाइज करबा लागि जोटा कि तमे आज काली कहू आमे माने जिम जाउछु जिम कौन पे जाउछ जिम जाउछ शरीर स्वास्थ्य रखबा लागि ना मन स्वास्थ्य रखबा लागि हेलो माद्री
Physical fitness.
हां फिजिकल फिटनेस पाई आ माइंड पाई कौन सुनुछ मोबाइल ले यूट्यूब रे देखुछ
Yoga.
गीत गीत म्यूजिक सिंगिंग
Yoga.
ऐसा नो हेलो पेंटिंग
Yes,
कर
sir.
से गुडी को सब होचे हां लेख कौन लिखले रे नो मस्ट बी फिजिकल everyone should have a gymnasium every school should have a gymnasium and a playground the entire curriculum of education or total process टा कोन होबा दरकार खेलिबे नाचबे कुदिबे इत्यादि the entire curriculum of education will consist of games and sports and during this period the health of the education the health of the children will be so nicely developed where medicine will not be required एमिति भाବରେ ता बॉडी की स्ट्रांग कर देइतो स्ट्रांग एंड स्टाउट कर देइतो तारा मेडिसिन दरकार पड़ियो where medicine will not be necessary but mere athletics and gymnastics will simply develop the physical side of life and Plato does not want to develop a nation and Plato doesn't like to develop a nation of fighters, of prize fighters and weightlifters. And music will be provided to make the soul and mind to learn harmony मन एवं हृदय हार्मोनी शिखिबो learn harmony and rhythm music will mold the character of the children music will mold 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 माने बदलै दबो कोन कहते गोटे रूप दब music will mold the character of the children, character of the children, music is also valuable. Music is also valuable because it brings refinement. Because it brings refinement of feeling and character. It also preserves and restores feeling and character. Feelings and character. It also preserves and restores health. ଷୋଳ ବର୍ଷ ପରେ ମ୍ୟୁଜିକ୍ ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯିବ। ଦେଖ after 16 years, after 16, the music must be abandoned. After 16, the music must be abandoned. ABANDONAD. Though the choral singing, chorus but the choral singing may go up. So the education up to 18, 17 or 18. So the education up to 17 or 18 was purely a general education. In music and gymnastics, and some elements of science. Along with this, ଏଥି ସହିତ କ'ଣ ପଢ଼ା ହେବ? Poetry ପଢ଼ା ହେବ. Along with this, poetry, mathematics, history, and moral education. And moral education must be imparted during this period. Then is your higher education. Then write, make a heading, higher education. At the age of 20, the top education has to be imparted. Will be imparted, where both theoretical and practical examination, are to be conducted. Will be imparted. Both theoretical and practical examination will be conducted. Those who fail in this examination, जो मान fail है examination में, सेमानों को physical exercise, economic exercise करिया को दिया हो, जा खाओ, कामरे, जमीरे चाष कर. Those who fail in this examination will be assigned the economic work of the community. The economic work of the community just like businessmen, clerks, factory workers, and farmers. At this age, Plato proposed to teach mathematics. At this age, Plato proposed to teach higher mathematics and astronomy. And those who pass in the examination will be trained out emphasis is to be laid on mathematics. Mathematics ଉପରେ ଅଧିକ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦିଆହେବ. Emphasis is to be laid on mathematics, including arithmetics, solid geometry, ଖାଲି geometry solid geometry लिखा dialectics, and at the age of 30, they will face another elimination test. किछि eliminate गले बिजनेस करिया को गले क्लर्क हेले पुणी दले दले पुणी 30 वर्ष तो पुणी बाहर जिवे म कहितला सेग्रीगेट करा होछि ताको ये को देखा then right now they will face the elimination test. Those who fail in this test at the age of 30 will become the auxiliaries, will become the auxiliary and military officers of the state. So, this higher education gives a little place for vocational and technical education, Next paragraph. Plato's education was essentially meant to turn out good administrators, who must possess good character, courage, courage, insight, intelligence, intelligence and self-control. You underline this sentence. Character, courage, insight, intelligence and self-control. The higher education was meant for the higher class people. The higher education was meant for the higher class people. Was meant for the higher class people. He did not provide, Plato did not provide this education to the artisans, traders, and agriculturalists. Plato's education was based on psychological approach. It has made a blending. It has made a blending. Mishran ghati kshetre. It has made a blending of all studies, blending of all studies into one harmonious whole. So, Plato's education. Plato's education is the most original part. Is the most original one or part where it improves morality, simplicity, discipline, harmony, and perfection. Perfection of human nature. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ପଢିବା ଯେ ହବ୍ସଲକ୍ ରୁଷଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ କହୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ନେଚର human nature को जो social contract ଆମେ ପଢିଲେ ପାଞ୍ଚଟା theory regarding the origin of the state कौन what are those five स्वागतिका what are the origins of the state कौन hello who is three hello who is three तो ऑडियो ऑफ अछि श्री ये हेलो am I audible लक्ष्मी
आगे सर
अरे ये श्री किए श्री जने अछंती
Yes, sir.
दूसरी
Sir,
दूसरी और श्री
sir, it's Sri.
श्री आज
Yes,
प्रथम
sir.
जॉइन करछो
Again, sir.
ये तो लास्ट देलानी काली लास्ट क्लास मोर you are from which place?
Sir, Gajapati.
Gajpati. What
Yes,
you are
sir.
doing right now?
Sir, I'm preparing for civil services.
For state civil service or central civil service?
Sir, both.
Hello?
Sir, both. State
Both.
and center.
How
Yes,
many
sir.
services are there in All India
Sir,
services? How many services are there in All India service and how many services are there in allied services?
mm, sorry, sir, I don't have.
Yes, because since you are preparing for civil service, you must know what are the services that is available and that has been being recruited by the Union Public Service Commission. There are three All India services. What are
Yes.
those?
Sir,
Indian Administrative
administrative
Service.
service,
Indian Administrative Service. Okay.
Indian Foreign Service,
Indian Foreign Service.
No, sir, Indian
Absol
Forest Service.
Indian Foreign Service is an allied service. This is not All India service. Do you know what is the difference between All India service and allied services? Hello.
yes, sir.
What is the difference? All India service, allied service ଭିତରେ ପାର୍ଥକ୍ୟ କ'ଣ? All India service they are being recruited by central government, posted by the central government, allotted to the state for functioning, and their punishment is given by the central government. Allied services, they serve under the central government offices. Clear? They are not
Yes, sir.
allotted to state. All India service ହେଲା ତିନୋଟି, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, Indian Forest Service. Allied service
Yes.
ରେ ରହିଲା, Allied services ରେ ରହିଲା 59 services are there. 59ଟା 59 service ହେଉଛି Allied service, ତିନିଟା ହେଲା All India service. All total it is how many? 62 services are there. Clear? ଛାଡ଼,
Yes, sir.
ଆମେ ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ଆଲୋଚନା କରିବାନି। ଆମେ ପାଠ ପଢ଼ଉଥିଲେ ଯେ ହବ୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ରୁସୋ ଯୋଉ କହିଲେ, ଥୋମାସ ହବ୍ସ, ଗୋଟେ you just make a paper and you make 3 columns. First,
Yes, sir.
in the first column you write Thomas Hobbes. In the second column you just write John Locke. This is the most important question. Remember it. The third one is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Hello. Hello, my dear learners. Did you write?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Ah. The Thomas Hobbes, the book of Thomas is Leviathan. Write down Leviathan. 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 Hobbes is an absolutist. His book is Leviathan. John Locke's book, Two Treatise on Civil Government. Two Treatise on Civil Government. And the third, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The book is Social Contract. Okay? Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What John Thomas Hobbes said, you just make two heading. One is nature, individual nature. Write down individual nature. And second is, first one is individual nature or human nature. Individual nature or human nature. And second one is social contract. Second one is social contract.
Sir, voice break hochi.
Voice break होची ଏବେ ଶୁଭିଲା hello ଏବେ ଶୁଭିଲା
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ହଁ ପ୍ରଥମଟି ହେଲା ଯେ ଥୋମାସ ହବ୍ସ କହିଲେ just a minute 1 minute okay Thomas Hobbes said when man was living in the forest what was the human nature ମନୁଷ୍ୟର ଜୀବନ କିପରି ଥିଲା man's life was you note it down man's life was poor nasty brutish poor nasty brutish short and solitary okay
Yes, sir.
again poor nasty brutish short and solitary okay hello लिखिल कि
Yes, sir.
हाँ
Yes, sir.
John Locke कौन कहले John Locke कहले there was no law write down ताकर human nature कहले there was no law no chieftain no legislature no executive no judiciary okay but
Yes, sir.
Rousseau stated Rousseau कहले human nature that was the happiest periods of human life the happiest period of human life write down happiest period of human life ଯେ ମନୁଷ୍ୟର ଜୀବନ ବହୁତ ସୁଖପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଥିଲା just you see ସେଇଠି ଯାହା ଲେଖିଲ ଦେଖ ମୁଁ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରୁଛି ଯେ ହାବ୍ସ କହିଲେ ଯେ ହ୍ୟୁମାନ ନେଚର ଯେ ମନୁଷ୍ୟ ଯେ ହାଉ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ଇଜ କ୍ରିଏଟେଡ Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, they have given different views regarding human nature. मनुष्यर प्रकृति केमिति थिला or how the condition of man in this state of nature. Clear? Hello? Human nature in the state of nature. Write down that point. Human nature or individual nature in the state of nature. मनुष्यर जीवन कौन थिला हब्स थॉमस हब्स कौन कहले लेवियाथन बुक रे हेलो अरे यू टेल मी
Yes, sir.
you tell me what is the human nature man's life was short it was poor then solitary nasty brutish could you follow my point when Thomas Hobbes said that when man was wandering in the forest, man's life was short. Short means he cannot live for a long period because he was being he was being attacked by wild animals, by lions, by tigers. Do you understand? So he was being killed. The human being they were being killed by the wild animals. So the man's life was short. They were very poor because they do not have their clothes just like ourselves. We have food, shelter, clothing, education, everything. These are the 5 basic necessities of human life that we have. But when man was wandering in the forest, he was living in caves. He was naked. His life was very poor. He had not a sophisticated life like all of us. तार गोटे civilized life नथिला here the man did not have a civilized life like us जेमती आमे civilized but actually we are not civilized because do you know we are not civilized even if we have everything we are not civilized because what we say we do not do. What we do not say. We say something, do something other, and what we do not say. There is a variation in our action and in our speech. ଆମେ ଯାହା କଥା କହୁଛେ ତା କରୁନେ, ଯାହା କରୁଛେ ତା କହୁନେ, ତା ମାନେ ଆମ କଥାର ଏବଂ କାମରେ ତାରତମ୍ୟ ରହୁନାହିଁ। ତାହେଲେ ଏଠି ଆମେ କଣ କହୁଛେ ଯେ ଥୋମାସ ହବ୍ସ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ହ୍ୟୁମାନ ନେଚର, ମ୍ୟାନ୍ସ ଲାଇଫ ୱାଜ ଭେରି ସର୍ଟ, ମ୍ୟାନ୍ସ ଲାଇଫ ୱାଜ ଭେରି ପୁଅର, ମ୍ୟାନ ୱାଜ ଭେରି ନାଷ୍ଟି। ଆମେ କଣ କରୁଛେ ସାମ୍ପ ଲଗେଇ ଦଉଛେ, ଗାଧେଇ ପଡୁଛେ, ସାବୁନ ଲଗେଇ ଦଉଛେ, ଗାଧେଇ ପଡୁଛେ, ଦିନକୁ वी आर टेकिंग କଣ कोल्ड बाथ, हॉट बाथ, कहते विभिन्न प्रकार बाथ आसले, विभिन्न प्रकार। But the people, those who are wandering in the forest, they had a nomadic life. Nomadic life in the sense, they were living in a particular area for a period, then after they were shifting to another place. They had a nomadic life. They were very nasty. ଅପରିଷ୍କାର ହେଇକି ରହୁଥିଲେ, ବ୍ରୁଟିଶ ହିଂସ୍ର ଥିଲେ। Their life was solitary. They were living in forest. They were leading solitary life, lonely life. They do not have family like all of us. ଆମର ଯେମିତି ପରିବାର ଅଛି ତାଙ୍କର ପରିବାର ନଥିଲା। ହବ୍ସ କହିଲେ, what is the necessity that compelled them to make a state, to have a organized way of life? कौन से एकजुट हेले गोटे ऑर्गेनाइज्ड वे ऑफ लाइफ करिया पाई जोठी की राष्ट्र सृष्टि हैला। थॉमस हब कहउचंती even if man's life was short, poor, nasty, brutish, everything, but in course of time when they settled, they realized that through germination process the trees are being created. So they realized and they wanted to settle in a particular place where water was available. थॉमस हब कहउचंती जे जते बेले से माने रियलाइज करले फळरू बजी पडिकी गछ जर्मिनेशन प्रोसेस रे गछ होउची, फळ होउची एवं पानी रो संस्पर्श रे जते आसुची, सेते बेले देखिले जोटी पानी जळ अछि से माने लोक माने दे स्टार्टेड लिविंग टुगेदर एट ए पर्टिकुलर प्लेस, गोटे निर्दिष्ट जगह रहिले एवं अल्टीमेटली व्हाट हैपेंड, दे थ्रू देयर physical relation they gave birth to children and ultimately it is expanded. धीरे धीरे बढ़िला and the family is created, then after clan is created, then tribe is created, then state is created. That is the process of growth, that is the process of evolution of the state. सेही process रे राष्ट्र उत्पत्ति लाभ कला। This is the view of Thomas Hobbes. But what Locke said? Locke said that man was wandering, no doubt, in his book, The Two Treatises on Civil Government, he said, man was wandering in the forest, no doubt, but there was no chieftain. When they were being there, as you know very well, the people, those who are living in forest, they were very aggressive. They were very destructive. They were killing anyone. When there was a tussle between two men, one was killing another. Not a third man was there to settle their disputes. There was no enforcement of rules and regulation because they were settled at different places. People were settled at different places. There was no agency to enforce, to make the law, to enforce the law and to adjudicate their disputes. When they were quarreling with each other, there was no such devices, mechanism through which their problems were solved. कौनसी प्रकार mechanism नथिला, कौनसी प्रकार chieftain नथिला, but in course of time they realized that when we are quarreling with each other, the third person, the mediator came, the third man came and he interfered in our affairs and settled down our disputes, and ultimately we accepted that man as our chieftain. And under his direction, under his command, we lived together, we started living together, and ultimately a community, the group life that started and the state is created. John Locke कहले गोटे जितेबेले दो लोकଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ झगड़ा लागुतला आउ जने लोक इंटरफियर कला ता देरे थर्ड man interfered and ultimately he settled our dispute. Our dispute को settle कर दिला, and we started living together under his guidance, under his supervision, and under his advice. ଆମେ ତାର ପରାମର୍ଶରେ ତା ଦିଗଦର୍ଶନରେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ରହିଲେ ଏବଂ ସିଏ ଆମର ହି became our chieftain. As you know very well from in the ancient time there was panchas, ପାଞ୍ଚ ଜଣ ଲୋକ, the chieftain, the elderly persons of the community, they were treated as pancha, and what they decided that was being accepted by the entire community, and that view has been given by John Locke. He said that when the third man interfered in the affairs of the two and they settled down, they solved their problem ultimately. They were organized way of life that started, and people started living together. ଲୋକମାନେ ଏକାଠି ବସବାସ କରିବାକୁ ଲାଗିଲେ ଏବଂ state is created. But in Rousseau's view, what Rousseau said, that when man was wandering in the forest, that was the happiest period of human life. How it was the happiest period? Because there was no compulsion, there was no restriction, a carefree life. The people were enjoying freedom, liberty. That means the people, they were living their life as per their own choice. The life by choice. My life, it is my life, I have to live. There is no restriction, there is no imposition, nothing was there. So the man was enjoying the greatest freedom. That means the man was at his liberty. That was the happiest period of man's life. But in course of time, people realized that freedom, then when someone interferes in the affairs of the other, then what happened? The dispute arise. Then what happened? They wanted to settle their dispute, and what they did? Ultimately, those people, they sit together, they realized that it is, even if it is my life, I have to, because like me, some other people are there also around me. I have to think about others. I have to think about myself, no doubt. This is the individualistic attitude of the individual, that I must think about myself, no doubt. But there is a sense within me which thinks about others. ମୋ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ସେନ୍ସ ଅଛି, ଯୋଉ ସେନ୍ସଟା ଡେଭଲପ କଲା, ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଗ୍ରାଜୁଆଲି ଇଟ୍ ଡେଭଲପ, and that sense କ'ଣ? To think about others, to think about the welfare of others. ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ମଙ୍ଗଳ ବିଷୟରେ ମୁଁ ଚିନ୍ତା କଲି, ତାହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କ ବିଷୟରେ ଚିନ୍ତା କଲି, I just gave my some will for the welfare of others. That became I gave some individual will, more personal will ରହିଲା, ତା ସହିତ ମୁଁ କିଛି will, ମୋର ଇଚ୍ଛା ଶକ୍ତି ଦେଲି ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କର ଭଲ ପାଇଁ, common welfare. That become what Rousseau has rightly said, the general will and the individual will. The will which is meant for the interest of one individual is called individual will, and the will that is motivated for the collective welfare of the common society or the society, that is called as general will. Rousseau has termed it as general will. General will ଟା ଦେଲେ, ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା? ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ୱିଲ୍ ମୋ ନିଜ ସ୍ୱାର୍ଥ ପାଇଁ, ସାମୂହିକ କଲ୍ୟାଣ ପାଇଁ, ଫର ଦି କଲେକ୍ଟିଭ ୱେଲଫେୟାର ଅଫ୍ ଅଲ୍। ସର୍ବେ ଭବନ୍ତୁ ସୁଖିନଃ ସର୍ବେ ସନ୍ତୁ ନିରାମୟା ସର୍ବେ ଭଦ୍ରାଣୀ ପଶ୍ୟନ୍ତୁ ମା କଶ୍ଚିତ୍ ଦୁଃଖ ଭାଗ ଭବେ। ସମସ୍ତେ ଭଲରେ ରୁହନ୍ତୁ, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ମଙ୍ଗଳ ହେଉ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏ କନସିୟସନେସ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଡେଭଲପ୍ସ ଇନ୍ ମାଇ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ, then everything, then I will make a compromise, I will make an adjustment with other people, and we will have a happy life. Then ମୋର ଜୀବନ ସୁଖମୟ ହେଇ ଉଠିବ, ଆନନ୍ଦମୟ ହେଇ ଉଠିବ। ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଅନ୍ୟମାନଙ୍କ ବିଷୟରେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରି ସମସ୍ତେ ଭଲରେ ରହିବା, ସର୍ବେ ଭବନ୍ତୁ ସୁଖିନଃ, that feeling when it comes to my mind, then I will join my hands, I will forget everything that I am no more, then I will join my hands with others, and ultimately what will happen? A general will, a common will that will be formed, the welfare of all. Sarve bhavantu sukhino. That feeling that will come, what rightly Rousseau has said that is called general will, and people started living together. When people they started living together, that was the happiest life, and people became happy, and the state is formed. Ultimately, when family and the people they started having their family, they formed their family, and through family, when family expanded, that became the joint family, and in course of time, family expanded and state is created. So that is the view of social contract theory, origin of the state, and in the state of nature, what was the condition of man, that has been elaborated by Thomas Hobbes, Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau in their respective book, Leviathan to Treatise on Civil Government and Social Contract, respectively. With this, I conclude. Any question from your side? ପିଲାମାନେ କ'ଣ ଅଛି? ସରିଗଲା। ଆରେ ଉତ୍ତର ଦିଅ କେହି ତ ଜଣେ, ହଁ କି ନାହିଁ? ଶ୍ରୀ, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ମାଇ ଡିୟର ଲର୍ନର୍ସ, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
Yes, sir.
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ,
Yes, sir. Sir, ବୁଝିଗଲା ସବୁ।
କିଏ କହୁଛ ବାବା? ମୁଁ କିଛି ଜାଣିପାରୁନି, କିଏ କହୁଛ?
Sir, ବିଭୁ ଦତ୍ତ।
ବିଭୁ ଦତ୍ତ, ବୁଝିହେଲା କି?
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଶୁଭା ଯାଉଥିଲା ତ ନା ଶୁଭୁ ନଥିଲା ରେ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ଶୁଭା ଯାଉଥିଲା ସାର୍, କ୍ଲିୟରଲି ସବୁ ଶୁଣା ଯାଉଥିଲା।
ବୁଝିହେଇଗଲା ତ? କିଏ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କିଏ ଅଛ? ବିଭୁ ଦତ୍ତ, ସୁଶୀଲ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କିଏ 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 ଅଛ? ଚିନ୍ମୟ, ଶ୍ରୀ, ଦୀପ୍ତିମୟୀ, ବିଭୁ ଦତ୍ତ। ଦୀପ୍ତି ବୁଝିହେଲା?
Yes, sir.
ଏ କିଏ? ସୁଶୀଲ?
ସାର୍ ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଆସିଲି, ଅନଲାଇନରେ ନଥିଲି ସାର୍।
ଓହୋ, ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଜାଣିନି। ପ୍ରିୟଙ୍କା, ଏଇଟା କିଏ? ପ୍ରିୟଙ୍କା ନା କିଏ? ପ୍ରିୟଙ୍କା, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ପ୍ରିୟଙ୍କା, ବୁଝିଲ? ଦୁଶାସନ,
Yes, sir.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍।
ଆଉ କିଏ? ବିଭୁ ଦତ୍ତ, ସୁଶୀଲ, ଆଉ କିଏ ରହିଲା? ଏ ଚିନ୍ମୟ, ଚିନ୍ମୟ ଅଛି ନା ପଳେଇଲାଣି?
Yes, sir.
ବୁଝିଗଲା ତ? ଲେଖ, କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖ, ମୁଁ ଡାକି ଦଉଛି। କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖିକି ମତେ ଦେଖେଇବ। ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀ ପ୍ରିୟା ପଳେଇଲା, କାଳେ ପଚାରିବି ପାଠ ତ ପଳେଇଲା। ଲେଖ ଲେଖ, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖ। ଡିସ୍କସ୍ ପ୍ଲାଟୋସ୍ ଆଇଡିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍। ଆଇଡିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ରହିବ, ସବୁ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଟିକେ 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 ରହିବ। ଡିସ୍କସ୍ ପ୍ଲାଟୋସ୍ ଆଇଡିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍। Question number 2. Critically discuss. Dipti sound ଆସୁଛି। Critically discuss the Platonic scheme of the Platonic conception of justice. Conception of justice. Examine the scheme of education. Examine the scheme of education. Propounded by Plato. Propounded by Plato. Propounded by Plato. Next, discuss the Platonic conception of communism of wives and property. Discuss Platonic communism of wives and property. Of wives and property. Education dakil na question?
Yes, sir.
ଆଜ୍ଞା
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
ଡକାଇଛି sir।
ତାପରେ ଲେଖ discuss the Aristotle conception of state and government. Discuss Aristotle conception of state and government. Then next question. Discuss the social contract theory. Discuss the social contract theory of Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. Of Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. କାଲି ପଢେଇବା କାଲମାର୍ସ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କାଲମାର୍ସ ରୁ ପାଇବ ମୁଁ ଯେତିକି ଦଉଛି ସେତିକି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଇଏ ପଢଉଛି ସେତିକିରୁ ଦେଖିଦିଅ ହେଲା
Yes, sir.
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ଆପଣ ମାନଙ୍କର ଆଉ କିଛି ଅଛି ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ
Sir,
ହ୍ୟାଲୋ
ଆପଣଙ୍କ contact number ଟିକେ ଦେଇଥାନ୍ତି।
କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ମୁଁ କହିସାରିଛି କେତେବେଳେ ଫୋନ କରିବ ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ଟିକେ କହିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଶୁଣିଛନ୍ତି କିଏ ମାଗୁଛ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର କାହାର ଦରକାର
Sir, ମୋ sir ବିଭୁଦତ୍ତ।
ଲେଖ 943722 କହିଲା ବେଳେ ଫୋନ କଲା ବେଳେ ଆଗ ନିଜର ପରିଚୟ ଦେବ କହିବ
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
କାରଣ ମୋ ଫୋନ ଭିତରେ 5000 ଉର୍ଦ୍ଧ୍ୱ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ଅଛି ମୁଁ ଆଉ ସେଭ୍
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କରିବା
sir।
ପରିସ୍ଥିତିରେ ନାହିଁ ହଁ ତା ଦେହରେ କାଲି ଛାଡିକି ପରଦିନ ଠାରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହବ ଅଲ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ତେଣୁ ଅଲ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଲା ବେଳେ ପୁରା ମୁଣ୍ଡୁ ଶୁଣ୍ଡ ଭାରତର ସବୁ ରାଜ୍ୟରୁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିବେ ପିଲା ତେଣୁ ମୁଁ ସମ୍ଭବ ନୁହେଁ ତେଣୁ ପରିଚୟ ଦେବ କୋଉ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଉଥିଲି କେତେବେଳେ ଜଏନ୍ କରୁଥିଲ ତମେ କହିବ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
9437228449 8449
Thank you, sir।
ଯେତେବେଳେ ଫୋନ କରିବ ରାତି 9ଟା ପରେ ଫୋନ କରିବ 9ଟାରୁ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
10ଟା 10:30 ଭିତରେ
11ଟା
ଫୋନ
sir।
କରିବ ନାଇଁ
ହଁ
11ଟା ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ 11ଟାରୁ ଟିକେ
ହଁ sir
ନିଦ
10ଟା ଆଉ।
ହଁ 10ଟା 10:30 ଭିତରେ କରିବ ହେଲା
ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଓକେ ହଉ ଓକେ ବାଏ ବାଏ ଟେକ୍ କେୟାର ଗୁଡ୍ ନାଇଟ୍ କାଲି ପୁଣି
Thank
ଭେଟ
you, sir.
ହବ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ
Good night.
you leave the group one by one be quick hello thank you my dear learners for attending the class. Tomorrow we will have our last class. Okay, bye. Good night. Take care. Till then, bye. Till then, good night. Bye bye. You are the only one here.